Hello, I'm Karen Canfield and I'm running for Selectman for the upcoming special election on September 16th. I'm the proud parent of 3 Scituate High School graduates and a third-term library trustee. I have been civically engaged in this town for over 24 years. For the past 381 years, Scituate has been a unique and special community. Today, we face challenges brought about by ad hoc development and neglected infrastructure. We must work together to face these issues and thoughtfully plan for our future. Let me tell you about my background. I am a graduate of Boston University. I hold a communications degree in public relations. I also hold a master's in urban and regional planning from the London School of Economics. These 2 degrees have allowed me to have careers both in public relations and then in Boston, I worked for a commercial real estate finance firm doing a lot of work with pension funds and private investors throughout the country. My civic work has spanned the last 30 years, from everything from working in PTOs to teaching CCD at St. Mary's to currently I am co-chair of the Artemis Circle, which is the leadership council for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston. My husband and I have been involved in that organization for over 20 years and are committed to providing all children with the opportunities they need to succeed. Several years ago, former library director Kathy Meeker applied for a grant from the Mass Board of Library Commissioners. The town received that grant, and then we went to town meeting to seek funding for the balance. That campaign required working with the foundation, with the residents, to get out the vote, and with all of the trustees, obviously. We were successful with that, and that was nearly almost 5 years ago. From that point, we began the serious work of building the library. We designed it with, we went out and found Odenzello Architecture, who designed this beautiful building, and then began construction. So the process was I served as a liaison to the building commission and also to the design team. So every Monday morning in the trailer on site, I met with the architect and the contractor and our OPM and our library director, and we made all the choices necessary to get this building built. The building was open to the public in June of 2017 and has been so incredibly well received. We're proud of it. On a normal day, there's 500 to 600 people coming in to use this facility. This special bench was made by a Boy Scout 7 Eagle Scout, Brett Bialou, and we're very happy. I hope I said your name right. We're very happy that he chose the library to do his project. Looking out from the library over to the newly renovated softball field in front of Central Park, which is a good illustration of how we should be maintaining our fields. There are over 5,000 students, well, not even students, 5,000 athletes, including some seniors, who use our fields every year. We are grossly underfilled, which means that our fields are in dangerous condition because we can't maintain them. We need to find, expand, and renovate the fields we have to make sure that our students are not playing on dangerous fields. When my husband and I decided that we were going to start a family, we looked high and low and couldn't find a better community than Scituate to raise our kids. So we moved here 24 years ago. I'm happy to say all 3 of my children are proud graduates of Scituate High School, and I now am living an empty nest with my husband and our dog Brady, a very sweet golden doodle.
One of the things I'm really concerned about is our water and sewer infrastructure. We've made great strides in improving the water pipes and in really shoring up the sewer plant. But we are going to hit some capacity issues if we don't start planning. And that's going to take careful consideration, a lot of work with both the town and with the state to ensure that we have enough water and sewer capacity to address the needs of our current population but also future growth. Obviously, these things will all work to address the immediate problems of brown water, but they go hand in hand with providing services for our town going forward.
We have a lot of things that we need to accomplish in our town, but right now we need to focus on building a senior center to provide for our seniors. It is completely cost prohibitive to use that building to renovate for seniors. It would cost, and it structurally doesn't make any sense. The feasibility study has several feasibility studies have looked at it, and the different grade changes on that site just make it a very unattractive for a senior center. The building itself, I have grave concerns that its renovation for any capacity is not fiscally responsible. This is where it's tricky. It's like, from a financial standpoint, I think that if you were just looking at finances, I would say you will have a hard time convincing me it's prudent to renovate that building from a financial standpoint. But everyone loves the building. It has historic value. It's 100 years old. It's in the heart of our town. That's worth preserving. So to me, you need to answer the question of, can you maintain the 100-year-old facade, which many people have done, and put a new building behind it, or should we look at maybe replicating it? Because it is a beloved structure. So the numbers that the Scituate Reuse Committee, I think it was called, the facilities reuse study. It's crazy money to put into a facility that it's 100 years old.
Right.
You can't just leave it there abandoned. In 2012, there was a town study done to look at all of our facilities, make a plan, figure out what we could afford, how it would be funded, and out of that came the library renovation, public safety complex, and the new middle school. Also on that list was looking at renovating town hall to move town hall services and put a senior center and put rec in there. So it was extremely expensive to do that. The seniors then said that they were not comfortable cohabitating in that facility, and that they wanted a standalone building. They commissioned their own study that demonstrated what they needed to meet the needs of the seniors, which is a freestanding 15,000 square foot building. So that's what's being worked on now, is to find an appropriate site for that that's cost effective to the town. After that, dates and all of the elementary schools and their deteriorating conditions, all of that has to be looked at again fresh. And it's like there's only so much we can ask the town to pay for. Right. So, but right now we have a gym that's empty and a building that's not being used. Sea Wing was supposed to be a temporary building in the 1970s. It has no structural benefit. That building would be removed in almost any scenario to the town. The B Wing, which is out in the back, was also an addition, not part of the original structure, and that's anticipated to not be necessary. So most of the scenarios are to reuse the existing, the original 1900s building and the gym, but we really need to just go back to the drawing board and see what we can need and what we can afford. So the senior center feasibility study identified 4 different locations to look at potentially putting a freestanding senior center. One of the locations was Gates, and there were 3 possible sites on that location. Major difficulties in that site location is the convergence of 5 roads in one intersection, which makes it very difficult to get in and out for anybody, but especially for the senior population. So that site, although it's attractive because it's in the town center and that has its benefits, there's a real structural problem with the road configurations right now. This is great here at Stephen Roach. I've heard that we're adding new parking out here behind where the batting cages are to increase safety for the players.
Oh, that's great.
Personally, I think the train has been 99% great for the town.
Yeah.
It's increased every year. More and more riders are using it, and it's a great alternative to get back and forth to Boston for work. With that, I think some real estate agents could probably tell you what the impact is on values. Values go up, and that's a double-edged sword. It's great for our communities, but it also means that if your home continues to get reevaluated higher and higher, then your taxes are going to go up. So, it's a blessing and a curse, but I particularly think it's a wonderful thing. We have 4 elementary schools in town and a declining elementary population. 2 of the buildings, I believe they were built in the 60s, and they are deteriorating. I was told by one mother she had to remove her child from Hatherley School because the mold was causing so many medical conditions for her child. At the very least, our elementary schools must be safe environments for our children. So that means we need to look very carefully with the school committee at how do we provide, first, a safe environment, second, consolidate our schools so that we can service the kids appropriately. We don't need 4 schools shortly. And then the next step will be, of course, to try to figure out what do we do with an abandoned school. Scituate Coast is our greatest asset and greatest resource. It is provides not only beautiful beaches and recreation, but we have a very active commercial fishing fleet that we need to make sure that we provide them with access and resources to continue to do their work.
So protecting our coastline is essential to the town of Scituate. Behind me is the seawall on Oceanside Drive that is being funded primarily from grants secured by our Water Resources Officer, Nancy Durfee. We're the only town in the Commonwealth with a Coastal Resources Officer. And because of her hard work and diligence, we have been able to secure grants to shore up our failing seawalls. She worked hard with not only the town administrator, but with the Board of Selectmen to gain easements from property owners to ensure that this neighborhood is protected for years to come.
So the Goulston property on the beach side, the Toll Brothers have proposed to put private home lots. And in here, in the majority of the lot, their plan is to do, I believe it's 150 townhomes. It is a 55 and up community. They have been in the permitting and the board review process for some time. Right now they are working through a lot of conservation issues. There are wetlands on this site, and they have done an extensive survey to determine how they can either replicate or avoid the current wetlands site. The town has approved all of the plans so far, and it is in the process. It's an ambitious project. There's nothing in our zoning and our planning bylaws right now that prohibit the development that they are proposing. And they will be hooking up to our sewer. They're completely entitled to do so. And once their permits are in place, the project will begin.
What about the concerns that people have about the toxic chemicals and everything that are supposedly here?
So I asked that question at one of the Conservation Board meetings. It has been deemed that the site is clean and ready to be developed. They've received the state DEP sign-off. Luckily for the town, there are very active neighbors that are keeping a very close watch, as well as the town boards. And I commend them for doing that, because this is our town and it's our community, and it makes sense to pay close attention. If I am elected at the Board of Selectmen, it is something that I will want to see regularly, is the ground sampling testing as they go forward with this development. They have to do air quality testing, they have to do soil testing. They have met all of the state requirements of a clean site. And as a town, we can't require more than that. Yeah, because this is where all of the clay pipes are.
One of the great problems with our current sewer system is we have clay pipes under the roads at Cedar Point. Those clay pipes, whenever there's overflow from the ocean, whenever there's a storm, just soak in all of the rainwater and the stormwater, which floods our sewer capacity. They can't keep up with that. So in order to fix that problem, we're going to have to replace the clay pipes underneath Cedar Point. And when our current DPW chief came into the plant, there was one entire cleaning bed that wasn't even being used, and that's since come online. He's also made great strides in adding additional pumps and improving the infrastructure within the plant to be more efficient and meet our needs. But still, even with these things, that we are going to be coming up against some capacity issues. If you can't make it to the high school on Saturday, September 16th, you can go to Town Hall and get an absentee ballot application. If you're going to be away, or if you have a college student that's not going to be here, fill out the application, and when the ballot's available, it'll be mailed to you and you can mail it back. It's important that everyone come out and make their voices heard.
Recently, I came across something in Colin Powell's memoir. He said, "No good idea succeeds simply because it's a good idea. Good ideas must have champions, people willing to believe in them, push for them, fight for them, gain adherents in other champions, and press until they succeed. I'd be honored to serve as your champion as a selectman in the town of Scituate, and I promise I will respect our community, protect our resources, and steward our future. I'm asking for your vote on September 16th at our special town election. Thank you."
I would vote for her.
You would.
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Because she's a nice person. She likes the town. She knows a lot about what's going on, and would do in the best interest of the town. That's my Karen Canfield.
Thank you.
You got it, honey. How are you?
I'll send you the